Okay, Namaste, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Mahakaal Anant. If this timeless sacred connection and intimacy reading has found you today, trust that Spirit has guided you here for a reason. Today's message isn't simply about attraction, it isn't simply about romance, and it certainly isn't about just physical intimacy. Spirit reveals something much deeper. This reading explores the kind of intimacy that begins long before two people ever hold hands. It speaks about emotional safety, unspoken feelings, the longing to be truly understood, and the quiet dreams someone carries about the connection they share with you. Sometimes we assume another person's silence means they don't care, but Spirit reminds us that silence often hides emotions that words struggle to express. Today's spread reveals someone who has imagined a future with you far more often than they have admitted. Yet, fear, past experiences, and emotional uncertainty continue to hold them back. As always, this is a timeless collective reading. Take whatever resonates with your journey and lovingly leave the rest. Let's see what this reading holds for you. Now, the first card here is the Page of Cups. This card talks about the present energy, and this immediately sets a very gentle emotional tone for this entire reading. Spirit shows someone whose feelings for you are sincere. Their heart feels soft whenever they think about you. This isn't someone whose thoughts are driven only by physical attraction. Instead, they imagine moments that many people overlook. They imagine meaningful conversations, sharing laughter, watching you smile, feeling comfortable enough to be completely themselves. There is innocence within these emotions, curiosity, hope, and a quiet desire to know you more deeply. The Page of Cups is often the dreamer. This person spends more time imagining moments with you than they probably admit to anyone else. Sometimes they replay old conversations. Sometimes they wonder what your future together could look like. Sometimes they simply wish they had the courage to express what has been sitting quietly inside their heart. Spirit wants you to understand that emotional intimacy is the foundation of this connection. Everything else they dream about begins there. Now let's move to the card number 2. Now, card number 2 here is the Sun reversed, and this talks about the challenge. Many people assume this card means unhappiness, but in this position, Spirit is showing something more subtle. The happiness exists, the feelings exist, the attraction also exists. What doesn't exist yet is complete confidence. This person questions themselves, they wonder if you feel the same. They wonder whether the timing is right. They wonder whether opening their heart could ultimately lead to disappointment. Instead of allowing themselves to fully enjoy this connection, they keep holding part of themselves back. Some of you may notice this as mixed signals. One day they seem emotionally close, the next day they become distant. Not because their feelings disappeared, but because fear interrupted what their heart wanted to express. Spirit says the challenge isn't love. The challenge is allowing themselves to fully experience the happiness this connection could bring. Now let's move to the third card, which is Justice Reversed. This talks about the conscious energy. They continue thinking about something what feels unresolved. Perhaps words were never spoken. Perhaps timing separated both of you. Perhaps misunderstandings created silence. Or perhaps life simply moved faster than either of you expected. Spirit shows that this person wishes the connection felt more balanced. They may even there may be even be moments when they replay past events and ask themselves, what could I have done differently? Did I misunderstand them? Was I too afraid? Justice reversed often appears when someone wants emotional harmony but doesn't yet know how to create it. This card is less about blame, it's more about longing for peace. They don't want perfection, they simply want honesty. Now let's move to the card number 4, and this is King of Pentacles reversed. Now, this talks about the foundation of the reading. This is where Spirit reveals the deepest obstacle. The issue isn't they don't care, the issue is that they don't fully believe they are ready. This can appear in many different ways. Some people feel financially unstable, others feel emotionally unworthy. Some believe they need to become more successful before offering someone a future. Others carry wounds that quietly whisper, I'm not enough. Spirit shows someone who wants to give more than they currently believe they can. Their hesitation isn't caused by lack of desire, it's caused by insecurity. They want to feel capable, stable, reliable. Only then they do imagine allowing themselves to fully embrace this sacred connection. Now let's move to card number 5, and which is Two of Pentacles reversed. Now this talks about the past influences. This tells us the connection has already experienced imbalance. Perhaps life became overwhelming, responsibilities increased, someone struggled to prioritize their emotions, or perhaps both of you were simply trying to manage too many things at once. Spirit shows that this wasn't necessarily about losing feelings, it was about losing balance. When life becomes chaotic, even meaningful connections can unintentionally receive less attention. This card also suggests that one or both of you may have delayed important conversations because the timing never seemed right. Yet, despite those delays, despite the emotional distance, the connection never completely disappeared. It simply waited, because some connections aren't measured by how often people speak. They are measured by how deeply they continue to affect one another even during silence. Now let's talk about the card number 6, and this is Death reversed. Now this talks about your near future. Many people become anxious whenever they see this card, but this card isn't predicting an ending, it is revealing resistance. Someone is holding on to an old version of themselves, old fears, old disappointments, old emotional wounds. Spirit shows that this person knows change is necessary. Deep down, they understand they cannot continue protecting their heart in the same way forever. Yet, transformation can feel frightening. Opening your heart means becoming vulnerable. Allowing someone to truly know you means risking rejection. This is exactly where they find themselves. They are standing at the edge of emotional transformation. One part of them wants to move closer to you. Another part keeps reminding them of every time vulnerability led to pain. Spirit says they are slowly releasing those fears. Transformation isn't happening overnight, but it has already begun. Now let's move to the card number 7, which is Six of Wands. This talks about your energy within this connection. Spirit shows the Six of Wands. This is a beautiful card. This person genuinely admires you. They see qualities in you that inspire them: confidence, strength, grace, resilience. They notice how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you handle challenges. There is something about your energy that naturally draws their attention. Yet, this admiration also creates nervousness. Sometimes they place you on such a high pedestal that they begin questioning whether they could ever truly deserve someone like you. Spirit gently reminds you, never underestimate how deeply your energy influences another's soul. Sometimes the confidence you naturally possess become the very thing someone else quietly falls in love with. Now let's move to the card number 8, and this is King of Swords reversed. Now this talks about the external energy or the environment. surrounding the collective. Spirit shows that communication has been one of the biggest obstacles surrounding this connection. Words remain unspoken, feelings remain hidden. Instead of expressing vulnerability, someone chooses silence. Instead of asking difficult questions, they convince themselves it's safer not to know. Sometimes pride, sometimes fear, sometimes simply not knowing how to communicate creates emotional distance that neither person truly wants. Spirit reminds us that silence often protects the ego, but honesty heals the heart. Until communication becomes more open, the connection may continue feeling slower than either of you desires. Now let's move to the card number 9, and this is Page of Pentacles. This talks about hopes and fears. Their dreams are surprisingly simple. They imagine consistency, trust, building something meaningful together, learning about each other slowly, growing together rather than rushing. They don't dream only about passion, they dream about stability, about waking up beside someone who feels like home, about creating a connection that continues growing year after year. At the same time, they fear making a mistake. They fear moving too quickly. They fear losing something precious before it even has a chance to fully grow. Spirit says their intentions are genuine. They simply want to build something that lasts. Now let's move to the final card, which is card number 10, and that is Seven of Pentacles, sorry, Seven of Wands reversed. Now this talks about the final outcome. This is one of the most meaningful cards in the spread. Throughout this reading, Spirit has repeatedly shown emotional walls, fear, protection, hesitation. This final card shows those walls beginning to lower. Instead of constantly defending themselves, they begin allowing themselves to receive love. Instead of expecting disappointment, they begin considering hope. Instead of carrying every emotional burden alone, they slowly become willing to let someone stand beside them. This doesn't necessarily mean every obstacle immediately disappears, but Spirit shows that resistance is becoming weaker and openness is becoming stronger. The connection has room to breathe again. Now, let me summarize this reading for you. Looking at this entire spread, this reading tells a remarkably gentle story. Someone carries genuine affection for you. They think about emotional closeness far more than they reveal. They don't simply dream about physical intimacy, they dream about emotional safety, feeling understood, feeling accepted, feeling peaceful beside you. Yet they also carry fears, fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, fear that life isn't yet stable enough. Because of those fears, they hesitate, they overthink, they remain quieter than their heart truly wishes. But Spirit repeatedly shows movement, healing, growth. The walls they have spent so long building are beginning to soften. The connection isn't asking either of you to force anything, it's asking for patience. Because the strongest relationships aren't built through urgency, they are built through trust. So, the channel message here is they do not simply dream about holding your hand or sharing a fleeting moment of passion, they dream about feeling safe enough to let you see every part of who they truly are. Your presence awakens a longing they cannot easily explain, a longing to be accepted without pretending, loved without fear, and understood without judgment. The intimacy they seek begins with the soul before it ever reaches the heart of or the body. Spirit asks you to trust divine timing because the strongest connections unfold when both souls are finally ready to receive what they have been quietly praying for. Now, what are the strongest zodiac signs surrounding this reading? So, we have Virgo, Capricorn, Leo, Aries, Taurus, Libra, and Scorpio. So if you have any of these zodiac signs, so this message may be for you. Now let's see what are the angel numbers surrounding the reading. 444, 222, 777, 555, 888, and 1111. So if you have been seeing these numbers repeatedly, consider them as gentle confirmations from the spirit. If today's reading resonated with your heart, let me know in the comments by completing this affirmation. Jai Mahakaal, I trust sacred connection. Spirit is nurturing. If this message brought you clarity or comfort, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Mahakaal Anant, and turn on notifications so you never miss any timeless message from Spirit. May Baba Mahakaal bless this sacred connection with truth, patience, healing, and the courage to love with an open heart. Until next time, Har Har Mahadev, Jai Mahakaal. I'll see you in the next reading. Till then, take care. Bye bye.